It's Thursday, July 18th, 2024. I'm Jake from Payne. This is Things You Might Have Heard. In the queue today, 8 news stories from yesterday that you vetted as conversational, covering information, politics, current events, and pop culture news. Apologize for that, but no apologies for the stories that are in because you've basically put them into the case. So we'll get into great stories covering folks like Mike Tyson, Christi Lukasiak, totally butchering that one, and Vin Diesel and more. So check out how this happens by going to our website. This is theconversationproject.com. The details on how we do the whole vetting process coming up as well. But go to our website for more details on how the Conversation Project works. And you can also email us with anything you need to at theconversationinbox@gmail.com. So let's get into the stories for this morning. Kick things off right now with not the Republican National Convention. We'll sort of talk about it, but it really is a story about the other guy, literally the other guy. And this one is getting heavier. Number one story for this morning: Adam Schiff, Representative Adam Schiff, prominent California Democrat who is running for the Senate, called for Biden to withdraw from election. Schiff, the prominent Democrat and Senate candidate from California, has called on President Biden to withdraw from the 2024 presidential race. Schiff cited concerns about Biden's ability to win against Donald Trump and urged the president to step aside for the sake of the party. Schiff's call for Biden to withdraw makes him the highest profile Democrat publicly to make this request. I believe the number is up to 19 big Democrats. I've said it for a long time, but I've said both of them should drop out. So what do I know? The biggest thing is coming through in the sort of scuttlebutt of the news that's overtaking this morning as we record this Thursday morning, the final day of the Republican National Convention, is that apparently many other people have been whispering in Joe's ear for a while to possibly drop out, and he's actually listening, changing the question to Kamala can't win to can Kamala win. Right now, the biggest name we're hearing is Chuck Schumer, who's essentially been saying it all weekend. Nancy Pelosi has also been saying it as well, we're told, although she's still saying the decision is up to Joe Biden. But apparently, behind the scenes, more bigger names, while playing the game properly, including Hakeem Jeffries, are actually saying it's time to take the ball from the guy because, as I've said weeks ago, he's definitely lost his fastball. Let's talk about the convention real quick. Last night was the coming out party for J.D. Vance, J.D. Vance's wife, and I will say his speech, that is Vance's, was, B minus. His wife, B plus, so forth, to go on with that one. And today we're going to wait to see how the new, improved, better than ever, cleaner than clean, newly holistic Donald Trump will do. Of course, last night we also had Donald Trump Jr. speaking, and his daughter, who gave a very passionate plea to humanize grandpa. But also last night, fresh out of the clink, Peter Navarro, literally right out of prison, he goes on stage at the Republican National Convention and tells the Republicans that the Dems are coming for you and your kids. Coming straight with hot fire right out of the clink. Peter Navarro, the former advisor to President Trump, was released from Florida prison essentially yesterday and went straight to the convention to talk to his people. In his speech, Navarro condemned the Biden administration for what he described as the, quote, weaponization, unquote, of the justice system. You may have heard that one before. And warned the Republicans that the Democrats were coming for you and your kids. Oh, you and your kids? That's in quotes. So he said them words out loud to people on TV. His remarks drew significant applause and a hero's welcome from the convention attendees. Yeah, let's just move on from there. Story number 3 this morning. John Deere drops diversity initiatives, pledges to diversity initiatives, and pledges to no longer join social or cultural awareness parades. That last 5 words are in quotes as well. John Deere, the renowned farm equipment manufacturer, has decided to eliminate its diversity, education, and inclusion programs, or DEI, as we like to hear them. The decision comes after a significant backlash from conservative activists on social media. The company announced it will no longer support social or cultural awareness events. Despite this move, John Deere emphasized its ongoing commitment to maintaining a diverse workforce and advancing diversity within the organization. As a somewhat sober and trying to be an objective news person, I put all sides out there, but I will tell you my opinion. This is one that's going to be, unfortunately, with us for a long time. And that's waiting for the pendulum to swing on this one It's going to be a big one because we've gone a long time going through a lot of work to, let me say, in my opinion, fix some of the wrongs of the past based on the way we felt about people and inclusion. We'll just say inclusion. What you want to include and who you want to include is all based up to you. But right now, as many companies over the past couple of decades essentially have been working to diversify, bring in more color as a metaphor, not so much as a race, bring in more people in that are sort of more different, so we have more diverse ideas, newer things to attract greater bands of customers. Some customers who just want to be by themselves are like, forget those folks, we're going to pay you, don't worry about the other folks. Even though those customers, those bases are actually shrinking. One thing to kind of go off topic and go really long this morning is TV and radio and newspapers. Regular broadcast journalism is dead. They just don't know it yet. It's zombies because younger people aren't tuning into those mediums or writing those mediums or picking up those mediums. And older people, because technology is moving away with them, are not going back to the old stuff because it just doesn't work. It's stale. And what they're doing to sugarcoat and bring things in for the folks that want to stick around, like Fox News, really isn't giving you anything that's any good. It's literally putting more sugar into processed foods as opposed to trying to throw some broccoli in there every so often to keep you alive longer as opposed to kill you faster, making it worse. Not the best metaphor in the world, but those are words I said. So put the quotations on me on that one. Let's go to the next story before I get myself in bigger trouble and go to Paris, as we are days away from the Paris Olympics. And the Paris mayor swims in the Seine River to show how clean it is ahead of the Olympics. Mayor Anne Hidalgo swam in the Seine River on July 17th, that is yesterday their time, to demonstrate that the river is clean enough to basically be a clean river ahead of the upcoming Olympics. The act fulfilled her pledge to clean up the Seine before the games, cleaning up the Paris, cleaning up a lot of stuff, and apparently swimming in it is proof. Now, we'll see what happens in a few days. If anything starts to itch or any rashes occur or something, kind of grows out of her head, we shall blame the Seine. The cleanup operation, which aimed to address the long-standing pollution issues in France, in Paris specifically, has become a significant environmental achievement as the Paris city prepares for the hosting of the Olympics in days. Meanwhile, back here in the States, in NYC, NASA confirmed a meteor passed over New York City and the Statue of Liberty on Tuesday. Yes, a meteor in daylight. Meteor streaked over New York City and New Jersey on July 16th, creating a spectacular sight and causing a loud boom that shook buildings. The fireball was first sighted 29 miles above Midtown Manhattan and disintegrated as it moved over New Jersey, which is apropos, I guess. NASA confirmed that the meteor's fiery descent caused the shaking and noise reported by residents in the area. This was one of those odder stories that didn't get a lot of coverage. If you were watching long-standing coverage of the news and they break in for those little quick hit things, you might have seen it there. It popped up in a feed that was there and sort of disappeared, but it took a couple days for us to get the confirmation because you've got to do these things. And we're talking about it now because you want to talk about it. NASA says that yes, it was not quite impending doom, but it was a meteor that flew over New York City and blew up in New Jersey, because things always blow up in New Jersey. Put air quotes on that one, my words on that one as well. If you've been following trials in Georgia, and you probably have because you've been keeping up with what's going to happen with Donald Trump if this trial continues, another big trial that sort of got Fani Willis in trouble is dealing with the Young Thug trial, which is going on seemingly for years. Well, it has been for years, seemingly for like decades the way it's going. Update in this one. It's not over yet, but the judge removed Young Thug's trial judge with a new judge assigned. The trial of rapper Young Thug, also known as Jeffrey Williams, his given name, is facing further delays after Fulton County Judge Earl Glanville was removed from the case. The judge's removal followed allegations of misconduct, including an improper meeting. What's improper about it? Well, read the story and get deeper details with that one. But this development adds another level of complexity to the high-profile racketeering case. A new judge has been assigned to oversee the trial, which has already seen significant legal internal points and just all sorts of blah in the past 18 months. So it's only 2 years old, but it seems like forever. What I'm learning about litigation as I'm off topic, dealing with some litigation on some various issues in otherworldly things, It takes time. It takes lots of time. And while my pledge or my plan to come to being a lawyer, out of the Air Force did not come to fruition, me playing one on TV and me reading into stuff makes it seems like while I'm not making the big bucks, I definitely made the better decision not to go into the world of law, at least for a paying profession. This story at number 7 gives me so much joy because Gen X gets to get ready to punch millennials in the face, literally. With Mike Tyson set to resume preparation for Jake Paul fight after the layoff for his ulcer flare-up. Yes, we are getting old, we are getting slow, but we still have little power in our punches, and Mike Tyson is now resuming his training for his upcoming fight against Jake Paul, where the brief hiatus came from an ulcer flare-up, which happens to the best of us, the worst of us, and all of us at our ages. Tyson is doing resistance training and some cardio, getting back into his walking shape so he can get back into his punching shape. He plans to return to boxing return to the boxing gym very soon to work on those punches for this highly anticipated match. Fight is generating a significant interest given that the unique pairing of the legendary boxer and the social media star turned boxer Jake Paul. Now, Jake Paul, no shade against him, is a fairly good boxer. And if he would have went the athletic route from the get-go and wasn't a jerk and an idiot on YouTube, we may be talking about some sort of renaissance in boxing. But he's not boxing to actually win championships. It's all publicity stuff. So he's fighting old washed up guys. That's who they mostly fight, or other YouTubers, which is kind of silly. This old washed up guy who once bit a guy's ear off and essentially was known for a long time as the baddest man on the planet, he's mellowed out. He's chilled out. He's gotten much, much more somber in his older years. But I think he still wants to punch the hell out of Jake Paul. We won the punch the hell out of Jake Paul, so hopefully if he doesn't want to, he'll do it for us. Thank you, Mike Tyson. Finally, this is the number one story of the morning, and this is a story that I think will actually overtake the current number one story in the listing. When we start working on the updating stories, keep an eye on what's going to be in the top 10 for the weekend. We'll see. But the numbers on this one were pretty high, so it'll probably be 1, 2, or 3, if not probably 1. And this is a story I have no care for whatsoever, and I just sort of posted in there because I needed to put some space in there. But this is a story you wanted to talk about the most this morning. Dance Mom star Christi Lukasiak arrested on DUI charges. Refused blood test. Lukasiak, hopefully I got it right that time. Sorry if I did mispronounce it. No offense, just like I said, not one I'm familiar with. Dance Moms is not a reality show I actually care to look at because it's kids dancing. That's not my bag. Of course, known for the reality show Dance Moms, arrested on DUI charges after crashing her vehicle into a tree in June. Lukasiak was booked by authorities Westmoreland County, Pennsylvania, and reportedly refused to submit to a blood alcohol test, which will basically get you brought in on those cases. The arrest has raised concerns about potential legal issues she may face if convicted, including the possibility of up to 10 years of legal ramifications from this incident. This is one, as I said, you guys cared a lot for. So much for it was the top story, and it was a pretty late addition to the day, I'm pretty sure. But it was one that was a afterthought, which is why it's important when we get to talking about how stories get in the feed literally in seconds from now, that you guys are engaging in the stories that you want to talk about, because otherwise this story we put there as the last story of the morning, which is actually the first story by your engagement, would not have been picked. I would have never picked this story of anything to present into a lineup like this. How do we get to these lineups? Well, you tell us what stories we're talking about. You literally do it every single weekday morning. What you do, you go to our feeds on Facebook and X, facebook.com/th_conversation and x.com/th. No, that's backwards. Facebook.com/thisisconversationproject and x.com/th_conversation. Apologies for that. Trying to click extra buttons and it got in the way. But what you do is you look at our feeds on Facebook and X, and every 50 minutes hereabouts, we put a news article link out there for you to engage in. We'd sometimes mix it up and give you a left-leaning article with a right-leaning title. Sometimes we'll actually edit the title because the titles are just so weird. I like to wait for the best, sometimes for a story to kind of matriculate and get something really really interesting and title wise and really be juicy. And sometimes will change things up because bits and pieces don't really fit, or it's so clickbaity. We will make it less clickbaity. We try not to do clickbaity links, but we try to do things that make you think. Here's one that may get you thinking, or it may not. This is one we'll see if we'll be talking about come tomorrow. U.S. military ends Gaza floating Pier mission to bring aid to Palestinians by sea. This story is one we've been talking about for a bit, and we actually talked to you a few days ago, had it in last week, I believe, where we talked about the fact that they kept getting blown up, kept getting messed up, and this temporary solution, which wasn't so great, is now a permanently done solution, no longer dealing with it. Do you want to talk about this one tomorrow? It is up to you. You just go to our feeds on Facebook and X and tell me if the story is there. Go to those feeds, those links, and click the emoji face that you like to say how you feel about it. Like it, love it, hate it. Share it with others. Engage with the stories. Read it a few times and see what happens. If you like it, we'll see about getting it in there. If it's top story of the day, top 15 of the stories from overnight coming in, about 30 stories between nowish and nowish tomorrow. We'll take a look at it. We'll give you 8 of the top 15 stories that seem reasonable. We gave you that 8 story today, the 8 story on the Dance Moms DUI, because you made it so friggin' engaging that we had to bring it up. Like I said, otherwise, I'd have skipped it. Let's talk about me for a bit, or particularly the Spotlight sponsor, which is actually me, and a new book produced on the larger umbrella of More Better Media, because it's about media and a part of the Big Words Project at thebigwordsproject.com. This book is called Big Words You Ought to Know, Volume 2. Every 3 months, every quarter for the next 3 years, we're producing a book with 100 words for you to flip through in the 90 or so days that you get in that quarter's worth of time. Sometimes they run a little over because there's 31 days and stuff, but it works out, and you'll forget some days, so it just so works out. And we have plenty of great words in the queue ready to go for the next couple books. This is a second iteration. Now, we want you to get this book because it's cool. We also want you this book to do favors for other people, grander things. If this goes to a larger scale, and none of my books go larger scale, I'll admit that. Most books don't go, especially self-published books. If it goes to a larger scale, we'll give to a larger organization. But right now, $1 from each sale of each book goes to a reading program here in Arkansas, both the electronic Kindle version, which is $6, and the paperback, which is $12. I have copies of them finally to show, so I'll probably hold them in my hands tomorrow because they're really cute looking. We kind of did some details to the cover if you saw the first edition. So your first edition's fine. The same book its inside's all the same. We were just changing all the covers to just be the same because we couldn't redo the cover. More inside baseball, more rambling, more stuff you don't really care to hear. However, I do care for you to check out the book because it's a great book and it does great things for kids. Go to the link inside of this video or audio, or you can't hear me speaking. It's also in the newsletter as well. Click the link to go straight to buy this at Amazon. You can search for it on your favorite other online bookstores. It's there as well. Or just search 100 Words Volume 2 Pain. That should be enough keywords to get you there. The words anodyne are in there, all the way to the word zealot, not in that order, but you can get 100 words of varying degrees of difficulty. Some of them are just really simple words that are kind of cool to use in your daily life. And plus, we will still have the big word of the day, the word of the day coming up for the Big Words Project, coming in the fun stuff in a bit. Let's continue to talk about me, this time specifically about us at the Conversation Project. So this is actually an true us thing. The Conversation Project lives online at this. It's theconversationproject.com, where you can find more details about what we do, how we do it, and why we do it, and many wheres that we do it on. We're on Facebook, we're on TikTok, we're on YouTube, we're on the X. We're actually on Instagram, but we can't really get much stats out of it, so we don't do that very much. And we do a lot of other things as well. Look for what we're talking about in videos and clips and hot take type stuff, and in conversational things with you. We are trying to work, now that we have the new studio, and we're working on hopefully new general programming, new timeline stuff, more conversations with people just like you. So if you want to get in on the conversations, you want to chit chat with me in video form about some of these stories, email me at the conversation inbox at gmail.com. You can email me there anyway because we want your input for all things. If you believe what we're doing is pretty cool, we could use some help. Go to our sponsors page and visit a sponsor. Those are all essentially affiliate links. Even my book's affiliate link. I get a cut from Amazon and my royalties for that one, so it goes into the pot. But if you want to directly fund us, make sure it goes straight to here. Go to our website, click the link for partnerships, and become a partner. Various ways to do it, various tiers of it, and of course, some one-time hit donations that come straight to us as well. You help make this thing work. It's a fun gig to do, but it's not a very well-paying gig. So the more you can assist in getting things done, the better. If you enjoy what you're getting, help other people enjoy it as well and just contribute to the cause. And now, let's have some fun, shall we? I'm going to take my coffee, take a sip, and we prepare for the fun stuff, which we call things you might ought to know. This is a gathering of things for the day that, tidbits of the day, things that are always cool to talk about. Even though my news director in radio was like, yeah, no, that's silly stuff. That's chick stuff. That's stuff that, they don't really need. Trust me. The chicks dig it, so we're going to do it, and I really need it. The positive stuff is also well. This is a way to bring some fun, some lightness, and some positivity and learning stuff to you. So, and it promotes all my other things. So there. So we're all happy. We'll all get good with that one. First thing to talk about are the birthdays, the funner of the fun stuff. Starting off today with Richard Branson, who's 74 years old. Richard Branson, the eccentric billionaire and just all-around crazy guy, still doing great things. Right now, his largest, and that is what pun intended, project is the Virgin Galactic, which I used to own stock in until the fact it turns out that the other rich billionaires willing to throw their money at their space toys were doing better than he was, even though Branson's been added a good 10, 15 years prior. But he still has his hands in various things. He's not quite as public as he was in the past because most of his companies he's not actually running anymore, but Virgin Galactic is still doing well as an airline. Virgin Records. Remember Virgin Records? Yeah. Richard Branson, 74 years old today. Why is he getting all the love? I'm not sure, because we're using Vin Diesel as our teaser graphic image. We're using the image from the Fast and Furious where he's got his arms crossed sitting on his car, and he talks like this. Vin Diesel, whose name is not actual Vin Diesel, obviously, is 57 years old on the day. What is he doing these days? Working on Fast and Furious 27, I'm sure. But other than that, just cooling around, being cool, driving cars, growling and scrawling, doing stuff like this. Maybe we'll make Pitch Black 8 as well. Maybe that's in the works too. We'll see. Much love to Kristen Bell, who is 44 years old on the day today as well. The cute, the just adorable young lady who's in the commercials. She was in Frozen 5, 6, and 7. Those are coming too. All these people keep making movies that I'm not sure we're really asking for, but they make money, so why not? Kristen Bell, 44 years old on the day. I got really lost in that one. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know where that happened. So, politics not aside, politics in real life. This is a serious issue on our history lesson part, starting at 1969. For most of us my age, most of us Gen Xers, don't actually remember this happening because we were either very, very tiny or not quite here yet. The big issue is this is a political action, although not political action, that essentially ruined a career for one senator and has ripple effects along the ways, although newer actions are making ripple effects. In 1969, on July 18th, after a party at Chappaquiddick Island, Senator Ted Kennedy from Massachusetts drove his car off a wooden bridge into a tide-swept pond, and his passenger, Mary Jo Kopechne, died. Now, this is something, if you were a fan of the Rush Limbaugh, and he's only been gone a few years, and so he's been doing this for a while. It's one of his greatest hits going through about Kennedy when he was alive and he was actively active. He may have been a candidate for president if it weren't for this incident and how it was a cover-up and Kennedy's have stuff going on. Now the current Kennedy, of course, JFK, not exactly this level of conspiracy theory, but vaccines are going to kill us is pretty close. Let's go to 76, where more of us were here, but I was only 2, so I don't remember this, but saw this as a big-time deal in TV movies and knew this as gymnastics lore. In Montreal, in 1976, on this day at the Olympics, 14-year-old Romanian gymnast Nadia Comaneci collected the first perfect 10 ever recorded in the Olympics Games. How about that? We worked it out. We didn't get a 10, but we got it there. At the 76 Games, she would get 6 more perfect scores, 3 gold medals, and a silver and a bronze. If we could do one of those back in time things and have Comaneci versus Biles and something like that, have them do a pose off in their prime, or maybe throw Mary Lou Retton in there as in the mix. Not quite perfect tens, but America's sweetheart. That would be great to see someone that great back literally 50 years ago, going forward. Back to 2003, basketball star Kobe Bryant was charged with sexually assaulting a 19-year-old woman at a Colorado spa. Bryant denied the charges, but during the trial, the judge dropped the case when the prosecutors said that the defendant could no longer participate because her name and medical history had been released by mistake. So the trial went out there, and unfortunately, the point was not to actually release her name to the public because it made her a target of many things, as you would expect. That dropped the trial. So Kobe had his trial dropped, no resolution. This is one of the largest scars on Kobe Bryant's life and career. One of the few that actually had some actual legal relevance. Many people at this caliber of stage of life, stage of working, stage of just being a champion, have tendencies that are not very nice. Everyone talks about Michael Jordan being the greatest person in the world at playing basketball and being one of the worst people in the world as a person. That's something that happens when you lower at that level. LeBron James luckily has a lot more people saying he's a more gooder than badder in those cases, but there's many people that you know and love as great professionals, your heroes, if you will, that have their demons and have serious demons that basically don't get talked about, or because they're really good at basketball or baseball or football or punch people in the face, you ignore it. That is what it is. But those are some of our difficult history lessons for the day. And I'm going really long today. I guess this new tech is make me even less pithy. Let's make this pithy as well, because bailiwick is the word for the day. A good word. It's not wrath. It's not automatopoeia, but it is bailiwick. And it is a person's specific area of expertise, experience, skill, knowledge, education, or authority. Your bailiwick is that thing that you know. Used in a sentence, gardening has always been my grandmother's bailiwick. Her backyard is a testament to her expertise and passion for plants. Okay, we're going to keep it speedy now and get quickly to our daily affirmation. Our affirmation for the day: if you're looking for something to help you feel a little better, try this statement. I radiate beauty, charm, and grace. This boosts confidence. Affirming that you are radiating beauty, charm, and grace boosts your self-confidence by reinforcing a positive self-image to you. This heightened confidence can improve your interaction and presence in social and professional settings. Now, people sort of kind of poo-poo and go real woo-woo on affirmations, and I get it. I understand that. It's not like, The Secret where you manifest good stuff. And many people that fell for that back in the day is amazing. But repeating positive actions, just like the whole, visualizing things before you do them, is a great way to reinforce confidence, reinforce great things in your head, reinforce things that are there. When you're not feeling well, you literally turn your frown upside down can sometimes help. So you want more information about affirmations or more affirmations that may work for you, go to Amazon and search 100 affirmations pain and get current book 100 daily affirmations for confidence and positivity and confidence. Sorry about that. And check that out today. It's there as well. Or click the links that are inside, however you're getting this medium today. Finally, celebrate good times. And today is apropos because it's Perfect Family Day. On this July 18th, this is the day we celebrate the perfect family. We believe, we being the people from nationalcalendartoday.com, believe that the perfect family exists. They do. I don't. But, let's just follow along with me here from their copy. Hopefully you are reading this and feel grateful for the family that you have. Even perfect families must have their ups and downs sometimes. Perfect family is not the one without problems, but it is the one that can handle the problems together, based on love and respect. Love, respect, trust, and understanding seem to be some of the essential qualities in building and maintaining a perfect family. Without those qualities, it's hardly imaginable. But the question remains, does your family have those qualities? It's a rhetorical question. I'm not going to answer it out loud, so you don't have to answer it out loud. Do it in your head. But for some of you who don't want to actually bring up the fact that it's a perfect family day because it's not perfect, or some of you who want to bring it up because your family is so far from perfect, it's a laugh, Alternate days to celebrate include Caviar Day. My family, which is not quite perfect, but perfect for me, will not celebrate Caviar Day at all. But Sour Candy Day will probably happen. We may find sour candy somewhere. It's also Sour Candy Day. So there are some alternate choices. I suggest sour candy over caviar. Your taste may vary as you go. With that, we're going to wrap it up for this morning. This has been Things You Might Not Have Heard and Things You Might Not Have Known for this morning. I'm Jay Cleveland Payne, going long, so apologies for that. We're going to, this will make no sense. If you got this far, thank you for sticking around. This is mostly just sort of a little bit of vamping so we can put the little graphic up to, promote other videos. But we're going to go ahead and put this out as a recording to live. In the future, we probably won't say it like that. We'll make it, live, make you think it's really live, but it's not. So thank you so much for joining us for this, whether you're watching it live recorded or recorded. We appreciate where you are. Let us know where you're watching it and how you're watching it, phone, tablet, computer, things like that. Those things help us figure out how to present this to you going forward. Make sure you're staying limber, hydrated, and on task for all the grand things you are here to do. And consider being a partner. Check out our sponsors. Make sure you follow us on the feeds, Facebook and X. And, of course, email us at theconversationinbox@gmail.com. Love you. Mean it. Let's get out of here. I'm going to hit stop. And in a few moments, doesn't mean anything to you. It'll be out there semi-live, live to tape for you to enjoy. Let us know if you like it this way, or we should just put it as a plain old recording going forward.